Welcome to a special edition of Duster Club. Today, we're joined by Ryan Casey Waller. He's a critical member of our community. He's also an attorney. He's also a psychotherapist. Let's bring him up right now because, Ryan, we've got a lot to talk about today. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being in Ron's basement. Thanks for being such a critical member of the UFD Unicorn Fart Dust community.
Man, happy to be a member of the community and happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Ron.
Yeah, well, I think it's important you tell everyone a little bit about yourself. I know, like I said, you're an attorney, you're a psychotherapist. Give us an idea kind of your background, and then we'll dive into some critical things we want to talk about regarding UFD.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so as you say, I'm a psychotherapist. So that is my job day in and day out. I'm in the room doing the clinical work. I am also an attorney, but nothing I say here is should be considered, legal counsel or financial advice or therapeutic counsel, any of that stuff. Yeah, I'm a husband and a father, but I'm a crypto enthusiast, and I've been in this crypto space for a while now, and more recently, came into meme coins and. For the first time ever, I'm one of those guys who I think are a lot of people that were on crypto Twitter for a long time, following the space, investing, but not really a part of the conversation. And it was really only with the discovery of you and UFD that I really felt compelled to step in and to start talking about why I think not only this space is important, but what I really saw in UFD as being very, very special. And I think some of my insights in the way that I view the world and even the work that I do philosophically and psychologically, which maybe we can talk about, really aligns with what's happening here in UFD. And I think that I've got a little bit of insight into why I think it's so important and why I think this is going to go where I think it's going to go.
Okay, so that begs the question: what's going on with UFD? Let's hear it from you.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, simply put, if we're trying to talk about this coin to people who are not super, familiar with meme coins, where I'd want to start is to say, when Murad gave his kind of sort of great talk that's been pinned and it's all over, the internet about this super cycle with meme coins, he hit on something that I think UFD really is like the literal incarnation of. He says meme coins sort of at their essence are these tokenized vessels of faith, which that's sort of like a mouthful, but I think it's really important. Here's why. A vessel is something that human beings get in to take them somewhere, right? So if you're thinking about the vessel, so what's the vessel? Well, UFD, that's the token. It's a tokenized vessel of faith. Well, faith in what? What do we mean here? Here's what I think is going on. As human beings, we not only want to have security in life, we don't only want to have financial prosperity, we want to believe in things that matter because we are meaning-making creatures. And so we're looking around trying to find something that's worthwhile. And so we look for the stories that are the most important. And you can see this throughout all of human history. All of cultures are always built on stories, because we want to enter a story because we want that story to take us somewhere that's meaningful and is bigger and even beyond our wildest imagination. That's what meme coins are at their best, which is very different than a lot of what's going on. But UFD is literally this tokenized vessel of faith that allows people to enter a story and discover things about themselves they didn't know and a whole new world, basically. That's it in a nutshell.
And so wow, that's very interesting. So I'm envisioning us all like getting on the unicorn together and going on a journey together. What's the meaning behind it? Because, Ryan, I didn't do this on purpose, right? I didn't strategize to create this wonderful journey that we're all on. And I guess I can feel the meaning, but it's hard for me to put it into words. To me, the meaning is fairness and equality and honesty and transparency and kind of like the little guy and the big guy. We love our whales. We love all, everybody's welcome here, but everybody kind of having a fair shot. Is that, but that's the way I see it. That doesn't mean that that's the way that these thousands of other people and the viewer, right? There's you and I talking right now, but there's this third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and now almost 1,000 other people that have joined us that have their own vision of what the meaning is. And, you know, now that I'm on that, I'll encourage everyone who's joining us, send me an email. Let me know what you see as the meaning, because it's important to me that I understand not just what I see Unicorn Fart Test meaning, but what the community feels that it means as well.
It's a great question, because I think here's what the beauty is. There's the values that people are attracted to, like you say, you know, the honesty, integrity, prosperity, fairness, all of that. That's a critical component of true successful meme coins. People are attracted to the values. We want to have values. Values are what orient our lives. But the meaning, this is the beauty. The meaning gets created in the community itself. So again, if we come back to this image of a vessel, if we're going to all get on a ship and take a journey together, we don't know exactly what the meaning is until we take the journey together. Because when people come together, right, and they form a community, then the meaning gets created out of the individual creativity and individual contributions of the community, which is like exactly what we're seeing with UFD. All the art that's being made, the in real life, I mean, the content. I mean, take me for example, and I wanted to share this. If somebody would have told me, hey, Ryan, 2 months ago, hey, you're gonna there's gonna be this, meme coin made by this guy Ron, right, out of his basement, and you're gonna find it, and it's gonna represent all these things that you've been looking for in this space, and you're gonna invest in it. And then one afternoon, you're going to be coming home from a haircut, what little hair you have left, and you're going to feel this compulsion to pull out your phone, make a video about crypto, which you've never done in your life, put it on X, and then it's going to get 50,000 views. And then all of a sudden, you're going to feel committed to do this every single day. And then I would have the opportunity to become your friend and get to talk about something that I'm passionate about. I would have said, that's crazy. Right. I would have said, that's impossible. That's not a space that I have any influence in, no belonging. And yet I followed that voice right into the kind of fairy tale land. And here we are. Yeah. So the meaning gets created in the journey with one another in the community.
It's like an evolution based upon the actions that people take. It's kind of like when I tell people, like, I can't tell you to trust me, but I can earn your trust, right? Over the period of 9 weeks, because 9 weeks ago today, I didn't know you. I didn't know Unicorn Fart Test. Unicorn Fart Test didn't exist. Right. But from the very beginning, I told people that I will go live every single day. There's, whatever I tell, I will be completely transparent with what I do, but I can't I can't force people to trust me. I can only earn their trust. And I think what I hear you saying about meaning is, I can't sit here and say, this is the meaning of Unicorn Fart Test. That really, it's like everything else about Unicorn Fart Test. It is created and evolves out of what the community makes of it and makes of this journey. Like we all, when you keep saying vessel, and when you say vessel, I envision us all being on the back of a unicorn together, holding on. But like, we're on this journey together, and where it goes and how it evolves is really up to the people. But I also want to throw in, I think we're in a very unique situation where the good people are the ones who are sticking around. Like the diamond hooves are the people. I like to use the saying that, like, the cream is rising to the top, and I've noticed that as the community has evolved over the last 9 weeks. Like, the good people are assuming, like, leadership roles, for lack of a better way to say it, and people say, well, Ron, you need to do this. Like, I can't. I didn't strategically plan for this to happen. 9 weeks ago today, the last thing, I'm like you, the last thing I would have been thinking about is that I'm going to have a meme coin and it's going to completely transform my life. The community made this happen. And I think that in that lies our strength. in a lot of ways, and that the community will continue to make this happen, despite the fact that a lot of people want to push me and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And there are certain things that we need to do, no doubt about it. And we're doing those things. But at the heart of it, at the core of it, what makes us different, what makes us unique, is that this is really a purely community-driven initiative.
Yeah, that's right. And this is what makes it so special, is that it truly was an organic birth. Like we have we have one of those miraculous sort of origin stories that no VC or can create, right? They want to create these fabricate these stories, but this is authentic, right? So we know your story, how it came to be, and then to your point, the other community members, they follow you, but then they begin to rise up themselves and say, okay, this is how we build this thing out. Because ultimately, community doesn't really mean anything if people don't feel like they have a sense of belonging. And the best way for people to feel like they belong to something is to contribute to something. I mean, you just talk to anyone who's run any kind of organization, particularly like a kind of a maybe like a nonprofit or a religious, something that's about like a bigger mission.
Yeah.
And you'll discover you want people to be committed. You wait, you give them a grand vision, and then you wait for the people who really want to do something. Then they begin to do something, and then other people follow them. There's all these different acolytes, and disciples, and it keeps the community then grows itself. And that's one of the things that Murad talks about and says that's the real secret sauce, is if you can find a meme coin that has a community where the community takes responsibility for then continuing to build out the community, boom. Now you've got something really, really special.
And that's what's happening right now with UFD. I mean, despite, this very challenging market that we're in for crypto and meme coins in particular, despite this kind of mayhem that's erupting, and maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later, within the meme coin sector with all these gambling coins and rug pulls and everything else, that's still happening after 9 weeks with UFD. I feel like the community continues to forge ahead. The community continues to galvanize, and that new people are joining, and that people are, it feels like we're moving into this area where people are starting to take responsibility and starting to take initiative to do things on their own. I mean, it's unbelievable what the community did last week with the Ledger meme coin battle royale, right? I mean, look at the coins that we beat. I mean, these are the top dogs in the meme coin sector, and our community organized itself and put out these initiatives, and we were able to win. Look at what they did on Valentine's Day. We've got people that are just, and I don't want to name names, they know who they are. And because there's too many names to name, but there are some leaders, there's Emma and CryptWizard and a number of other people that really took on big responsibilities. It's very interesting. It's very, very encouraging to watch.
Oh, it's insane to think about. And I don't want to name names either, because there's so many, but I mean, let's name Emma and CryptWizard. Like, the amount of organization and networking, and I say networking, I mean bringing people together, and the way that they were doing it, sharing, okay, here's what we need to do, we've got to keep going. I mean, the leadership is remarkable. All the different conversations that I saw, and again, if people don't understand, the other coins that we beat in that competition, I mean, they're like the Goliath, and we're David. I mean, this is truly like, it's wild to think about, and that could only happen through like this rabid, dedication. And you're right. The past few weeks in particular have been horrible in this space, with the rug pulls and the scams and all of that. And yet our community is becoming more committed, because people, I think, are thinking more about this story that they're entering into and belonging to than just the price action. The way that all of this works is, if you really have a story like this that provides meaning in people's lives, then people will stay, and the price will eventually follow. So people aren't just obsessed with it and abandoning ship like they were with other projects, because they're finding belonging. They're finding something that they know isn't going to disappear tomorrow, and that they're getting to interact with. And that's literally, that in of itself is priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to bring up some comments there. Somebody said Emma and Crypt Wizard equals the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you think about what our community was doing over the last week. And then you think about what was going on in the meme coin sector as a whole. Here we have a community that's organizing itself, taking on initiatives, focused on good, focused on honesty, focused on integrity. And it's not the entire meme coin sector, but I've been around long enough now. 9 weeks is like 9 years, I think, in the public sector to be able to say, like, the other things that are going on with like this Argentina coin and all this is just really bad, nasty stuff. Whereas we're over here promoting honesty, integrity, transparency. And I want to get your take on this too, because I'm seeing more and more people like these leaders on crypto Twitter, people that have 200, 300,000 followers that are putting out these tweets like, I think it's time that we have a coin that's really for the people and really honest. And I'm like, hello. And then I read the comments and people are like, check out UFD. It's like a lot of these leaders are saying that, but I'm waiting for them to really fully like endorse us or endorse somebody else that really is standing for like transparency and honesty. It feels like the market is hungry for that right now.
Yeah, it's desperate for this. And it's not a coincidence that this came alive, 9 weeks ago, and then all these events have been happening. And in some ways, I see, the massive disaster that it seems that the Libra project is really representative of all these other ones. And I think it's a great purging. Like, people understand now, okay, this is not the way. There are always going to be people out there that are going to basically that coin. Well, I got to be careful. The coins that people are done with are the ones that are built to only use retail as exit liquidity.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. That's it.
Yes.
And so when people realize, okay, so if you're not a part of that conversation ahead of time, it's that age old thing. Like, if you playing poker and you can't spot the sucker at the table, like you are the sucker. Okay. And so people they're gonna realize at some point, or a lot of people actually aren't gonna realize, because it's like, go to Vegas and just walk through and you'll see people that are just gonna keep throwing their money at it. Fine. But the people that are really passionate about meme coins, and if they're looking for what's legitimate, they're going to find UFD.
Yeah.
And once they realize that it's not only offers all of the fun of a meme coin, but that it's stable and a safe haven, then I think we're going to see, again, not financial advice, but I think we're going to see what Murad has said. We're going to see meme coins that go to market caps that we can't even imagine. And I think there is no better coin to lead that super cycle than UFD.
Yeah, and I want to point out as well that this came to mind as you were speaking. Every day I'm getting stories either on the phone or email or DMs, whatever, when I'm talking to people, hearing about, oh, my 64-year-old mom or my 74-year-old dad or my brother or my cousin, whoever. Like, I'm hearing about people who are buying UFD with no intention of ever selling it, of like truly diamond hoof people, and I think that really is unique with us, because by definition, these gambling coins, right, these pump and dump schemes are not long-term propositions for people. I mean, look, I'm no guru. I still tip my horn to Murad, because that speech that he gave was one of the first ones that I ever that really turned me on to what's going on in this sector. But most of these coins that and not the ones that he follows and supports, because there are some other great coins out there.
Yeah.
But most of these coins that are coming up, look, I've been in the financial markets for decades. I mean, they are pump and dumps. And if they did that on a normal like stock exchange or whatever, those guys would be in big trouble.
Big trouble.
I mean, big trouble. It's this unregulated environment, but that doesn't mean that people still don't want security and still don't want something that is, uh, well, I think that gives real value from the community, right? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that was my next question for you. Is there real value here? I mean, look, when I look 9 weeks ago, Ryan, I would have sat down here in this basement, and if you'd asked me about a meme coin, I would have said, yeah, it's all a bunch of unicorn fart dust,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I had a transformative experience quickly after I created unicorn fart dust to realize but do you see the value? I mean, because let me throw this out. Well, go ahead. I want to get your answer. Then I think I have something that's really cool to say as well.
Okay. Well, don't forget, but yes, I mean, I could go on for ages, but look, for people that don't understand crypto, if you study the history of money, money is what we all decide it is. It is. So whoever tells the best story effectively with money gets to decide what money is.
Yeah.
And long story short, we have decided collectively at this point in 2025 that crypto is money. And so you want to find money that you know when you wake up tomorrow, when you go to check your wallet, whether that be physical, right, or digital, you want to know that it's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we understand that value is going to rise and value is going to fall. But taking risk is totally different than like, well, I'm going to put this $100 on my nightstand and it might be there in the morning and it might not be there in the morning. That's what the pump and dump stuff is. With unicorn fart dust, you can put it there and you can understand there's going to be volatility, but over a long time horizon, we're headed in a good direction.
Yeah.
So the stability and the value of knowing that, it's not going to disappear, I think is
huge.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah. And when I think about the value that we have in the community, I think about relationships, right? I like to use this example when people ask me, like, how can it be worth anything? How can crypto be worth anything? And I was one of those people a few years back, right?
Yeah.
How could unicorn fart dust be worth anything? And I ask them the simple question. I say, well, what's the most valuable thing to you in your life, of everything in your life? And everybody always answers the question the same way. They'll say some type of relationship, family, daughter, whatever. And I'm like, well, that's what we have within UFD. We have this family, we have this relationship, we have this community, right? Now, what I was going to say earlier, which I think is important to understand about what we have here, is that, even when I look at stocks like Apple or Tesla, like stocks that are Nike, companies that have like a cult following, and I don't like to refer to us as a cult. I say cult, like COLT, but not a cult. Like we're not telling people what to do or how to do it or anything like that. But anyway, like our relationship, our following, I would say is even more, maybe not as big in numbers as a Tesla or an Apple by any stretch of the imagination, but I would think that it's stronger. If that might be smaller, but our bonds are actually probably as strong or stronger than almost any community that I see out there. Again, in numbers wise, sure, there's communities that are bigger. There's kind of a community that loves Nike, no doubt, right? But I don't think that they're nearly as strong as when it comes to the bond of the relationship that people feel like they feel with unicorn fart dust within this community.
There's no way that they can with the Tesla and the Nike and the Apple, because how many of those people got to be a part of starting those organizations? This is what's wild about this. When we look for stories on the inside of us, we all want to go on what I would call like a mythic journey. We want to experience something in the outer world that matches that like longing that we've all had in our hearts since we were kids to be a part of something great. How many times, I just want to, everyone who's watching, when have you ever, if you ever have, been able to participate truly in the genesis of a movement of meaning? Like how often do you get that opportunity in life? For a lot of people, this might be the only chance. And so you want to seize it. And I think that's truly what came over me, whenever it was in December. I just thought, oh my gosh, I just knew This was something really, really special. And I thought, I don't want to miss an opportunity to be a part of this. I want to go. So I think we have a chance. We have a chance in this to be in a community where people have bonds and commitments that can't really be rivaled. And so I know the word cult has a lot of these negative associations, but cultish behavior it is meaningful and helpful because people are totally committed. And there's a reason that word feels appropriate here, because I do think it matches the level of diamond hooves. Like you get locked into it and you don't want to let it go because you want it to be now a part of your life. You want it to be an aspect of your identity.
Yeah, I love that we are on this epic journey because I guess sometimes it hits me, or sometimes I don't realize just how unique and special this situation really is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, I'll say, like, I sat right over there at my desk and, 9 weeks ago, spent $100 and created this meme coin as an experiment. And then it has turned into like a life-changing, it's a life-changing experience for me. And I think it's a life-changing experience for a lot of people as well. And then on top of that, Ryan, I can't help every time I'm live, but the point, well, you can't see it, but my jug of beans next to me, like as we move down this road together, on top of that, we have an opportunity. We really do have an opportunity for prosperity, because every day that goes by, every time we get more and more people, we get closer to there being a bean shortage.
Yeah, that's right. And at a certain point, I mean, the communities that are really committed, this is what happens. I mean, we have data, the coins will pump. They really, really will pump. I mean, because supply shock will happen. People want to be a part of it. There's FOMO, but it's just not going to be these quick pumps and be over. I mean, this is going to keep going. But yeah, the time will come. I mean, here's another really important element of unicorn fart dust that Murad and the others who've really studied these and speak intelligently about meme coins, is that meme coins provide the opportunity, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way. This is Murad's language. He says for poor people to get rich.
Yeah.
So they represent an opportunity for people to come into something that otherwise, like in the past, would have been off limits to them unless they were some kind of accredited investor or a part of something, right? This gives people the chance to come in and just have access, have fair access to something that could potentially bring them life-changing, money.
Yeah.
And again, I think given our day and age, and I'm not an expert on this, but I do talk to a lot of people, and people find it really difficult, in this day and age to kind of break out economically.
Right.
And I think there are some people, particularly younger people right now, who understand that crypto, and particularly meme coins, represent an opportunity to change their lives financially. That's not a small matter. It's difficult out there for people. And so especially right now, people might be upset about the price, but if you think more long-term, this is an opportunity for people to get in on this thing before it takes off again. And it really could, bring people opportunities financially that they otherwise just aren't going to have.
Because I think that a lot of the coins that come out, and even some of the altcoins, the bigger coins that are started by venture capital firms, and I read this several times now, and it makes perfect sense. Like they've got 2 rounds of investing, so maybe there's $30 million invested into these coins, and then when they do, I think they're called ICOs, right? When they go out public, they go out at a real high valuation, and essentially, then what happens is they use that as a liquidation event for the people, the rich guys, to cash out, to get all their money out. And those coins all just go down, 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 like it's a common occurrence. Whereas we really are the people's coin, right? I mean, we were the people's coin from the very first day that I created the thing. And I mean, other people say, oh, we're the people's coin. Well, no, this like really is the people's coin. And I appreciate you pointing that out, because I forget about that. I think it is giving the opportunity for average everyday people to make unbelievable wealth. Let me pull something up, Ron. Did you have something to say? Go ahead.
Well, just to that point, with these coins where there's this, fundraising that goes on, or coins are passed out, when they come out, people think that they're early.
Yeah.
But then so when they come out, and then the investors, like, they use this as a liquidity event. So the coin drops, but they're up 100x or whatever it might be, and everybody else kind of loses. Here, y'all, if you're here, you really are early in there, right? This is the access. Like, you have it. This is the thing you've always wanted to be.
This is the funding round right now.
This is the funding round. You want to get in the room where it happens, as they sing in Hamilton. Like, this is the room that you've been kept out of. Like, here you go. You're in it. You have your opportunity. Go buy UFD. You're in it. Okay.
Yeah. This is the funding round. Well, and to your point, because I just think this is incredible. I want to pull this up. I showed it earlier today, but I think it's worth showing again. Hold on here. Wrong one. There we go. This from Emma that showed the top 10 social meme coins from yesterday. And there we are. We're number 10 on the list. Okay.
Yeah.
But look at our market cap compared to, I think Doge, I figured, was 1,000 times higher than we are right now. And there is nothing keeping us from being eventually as big as Doge or bigger. Okay. But all these other coins that, I mean, like this is the funding round for UFD, right? Like, we aren't some big, we aren't coming out at some 4 billion, 8 billion, 20 billion valuation. This is the room, like you said.
This is the room. And let me tell this story, just because I was there. I think people see that number with Doge and they think 40 billion, like, that's just their brain goes like haywire, and it's like, oh, we could never. In 2021, I believe, and people can fact check me on this, somewhere around there, whenever it was in the spring, when Doge went from wherever it was, not a lot, all the way up to like 69 cents or something. I had the horrible experience of being one of those people who had only, like, a little while before then, was like trading Doge, just thinking it's not really worth all that much. You have tons of it. I don't know how big this thing can get. But then I watched something go from here, like, up and beyond heaven. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's what blew my mind. I thought anything is possible here. Yeah. So when you say, right, there's nothing, literally nothing, it's true.
It is. I've asked, I won't name names, but I've asked, like, very well-known people in the crypto world, what's keeping, because when I found out, here, let me bring it over. When I found out, I got to show it one time, that there's only 999 million beans. 900. That was like one of the. I watched Myriad's talk. That really got me excited about community. Then the next question I had was, well, how many more beans can they make, or is it? And I found out that it's absolutely limited. And I talked to then the top people that I could talk to and ask them the question, and they all say the same thing. There's nothing keeping UFD from being as big as any other meme coin in history. There's nothing stopping us. And I would think that we've got a better shot than most any, because of our just pure organic. I mean, I don't know the history of Doge, and I'm not putting Doge down. I'm not putting any of these other coins down. But I don't see how any other community, there could be anything that would rival our story and the strength that we have, because this has been just an organic growth story from day one. I don't see it. I don't see any reason why we don't have that potential. And as this community continues to expand. Yeah.
I mean, who's having more fun than we are? Like, who's got their dev that comes on and talks to them every day? They're the great communities, and they do wonderful things. What I would say to our community is, if we just keep creating our community, then we will be a community of attraction. Right? Yeah. We will be our own evangelist. We are our own evangelist. We keep pouring into this community. If we all keep building, if we care about one another, if we really show up for one another, more people are going to want to come. Well, and the beautiful thing about meme coins is more people wanting to come means more people are buying the coins.
Right.
Because you're not going to come into this community and just like want to watch what's happening. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, I can invest in this thing, and then my identity is not only kind of wrapped up in it, but also my financial future. Well, like, yeah, I want to do that. So there's nothing stopping us, and we really are unique in that. That's the beauty about, like, every story is unique, and our story has these elements to it that you simply cannot replicate. Like you've said this before, this is never going to happen again.
No,
like never. It can't.
I can't do it again, Ryan. I really can't go. I can't make my first meme coin. That ship has sailed. I could never make another. I could never remake Unicorn Fart Dust. You couldn't. It's impossible. And go ahead.
Well, it's impossible, and that's another thing, right? This is your focus. Like you've done UFD, and who knows, but like I don't think you're doing anything else in the meme coin space except for UFD.
I'm 100% focused on UFD, and I've told everyone I'm 100% transparent. I've been 100% transparent. I will continue to be 100% transparent. I've made commitments as to that I wouldn't sell beans. I didn't sell beans. I can't help that the guy hacked me, but the community, by the way, is almost completely replenished my bean supply, which is. Susie called me the other night. She had the girls at a trampoline park, or she texted me, and she said, she just realized, she just looked, she said, I'm crying that, that this has happened. And I'm like, I know, I understand. And maybe I don't say it enough, but that's, to me, like a massive thing that the community has done for me. No, I'm 100%. I can't do this again.
No. And that is amazing. I mean, I hope everyone understands, if they've even come on in the last few weeks, understanding how big of a deal that hack was. I mean, it was horrible. So many projects would have fallen apart in that moment.
Yeah.
And
it strengthened us.
Yeah. Because that's what happens, right? Again, in real community. This mirrors all the other epic journeys. A journey is not an epic journey without like trials and tribulations. And you discover if something actually has substance, if it has strength. Well, what happens through the trial is that it gets fortified. That which is flimsy, not real, superficial, it breaks, it burns, it falls away. But when you really got something, you emerge from the fire stronger than you were prior. And the community rallying together and sending you your tokens demonstrated how strong the community actually is and how determined people are. And it speaks to the reality that they're simply not going away.
Yeah. It's an incredible story. It's an incredible situation. I was talking to, I mentioned it earlier today. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a high level financial executive, I guess you would say, in St. Louis, decades of experience, still working, he knows markets, he knows everything. He knows what's going on with meme coins. He knows what's going on with UFD. He's not a meme. He's a traditional financial services pro. And I was talking to him about, and he was asking me about, he'd heard about what went on with is it Libra, the Argentina coin, the most recent one. And I was like, I said, it's just crazy, and he brought up something interesting. He said, because he knows, like, he's following us close enough to know that what we're doing is good. And he's like, you can always remember that, Ron, like what you've done is good. And what your contribution to it is good. Because I don't take responsibility for all the success that we've had, of course, right? It's the community that's done this. But he brought up a great point. He said, the more that these pump and dump schemes come along, he said, the better that Unicorn Fart Dust is going to look. Because I was expressing, honestly, some frustration. I'm like, this gets frustrating after a while. And it's like, we're in this environment where we can't help it that we're in the same pool with these other companies that are, and that old saying, if you hang out in a bar long enough, you're probably going to get drunk, or if you hang out in a barber shop, you're going to get a haircut. And he said, what you're doing and what your community is showing is that honesty and truth and integrity, transparency can win. He said, and so the more they do that, he said, the better you're going to look. Any comments? Right.
Yeah, absolutely. the longer this goes on, I mean, on Friday, before Libra happened, that was Friday night, I think.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like nature was healing. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh my goodness. And then this massive, right? This massive, basically rug pull occurs. And I really do think that might have tipped the scales.
Yeah.
Like I said, like everyone, there are always going to be people that are looking to defraud other people. That's going to happen.
Right.
But that was such a big, I don't want to say shock, but it hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that I'm hoping that we are kind of turning a corner here and people will gravitate more towards safety and goodness. And it is true that we're in the same pool, but the reality is I would ask people to think about it again as like an epic story. There's good and evil, guys. And the only way, right, good wins is good, confronts evil. And in this way, how are we confronting evil? Well, okay, we're doing this completely different. This is going to be honest. This is going to be fair, transparent, and we care about each other. We actually want to bring out what's good in one another, and we know that because we know based upon the fruits. What's happening? Well, the goodness is coming up, right? We're creating all this fun energy, the art, genuine relationships, the utility,
acceptance, a sense of belonging. I think that I read a couple of things. I've read a couple of things over the past few months. That I read one that said there's an epidemic of isolation right now, not only in the United States but all around the world, right? And that people feel isolated more and more and more, and that what this gives, I guess, Web 3. Although I'm not, Web 3, but what we're doing does give people an opportunity to get involved and to feel like they belong to something, because we don't reject anybody, right? I mean, it's a community of attraction, not promotion. Like, we aren't out spending money saying, hey, come buy Unicorn. No, it's like, hey, look what we've got and you're welcome here. All we ask is that you're honest and you're good, and who doesn't want to be, don't people at their core want to be honest and good and part of something honest and good?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the deepest sense of what we want as human beings is we want belonging. We want to love. We want to be loved. Yeah. And we know that love, genuine love, only blooms in environments where there is honesty and, and integrity. But yeah, we don't, you want to be here? You guys can be here, right? You can absolutely just belong, just, come. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I had something else I was about to say.
Well, I always tell people, because I'm getting these emails every day. And today we had the big, here, let's pull it up real quickly and then I'll make my point. So there's Emma. Oh, I wanted to point out on this as well, real quickly. When you look at where Doge is, okay, at 42 or 40 billion, and you look at us, roughly 1,000, we would go up 1,000 times to get to that point. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not making predictions, anything like that. But just to think about that, for if UFD were to go up, or if anything were to go up by 1,000 times in value, you can take the value of whatever your beans are right now and add 3 zeros to the back of it, which is just mind numbing to me to think about what the potential is that we have in terms of price appreciation.
But I want people to imagine it, because we don't bring anything into existence without first believing that it can be possible. Yeah. We can actually manifest, that word people throw around. They think it's all like woo-woo, but the reality is this is how genuinely beautiful things come into the world. We think of that which doesn't yet exist, that which we would imagine is only fantastical. We see it and then we move toward it. Yeah. And so we have the power to bring this about through our participation. It's not like we're just sitting home hoping, but if everybody asks themselves, well, how can I contribute? How can I show up for UFD? What is it that I can do? Again, the meaning gets created and we have no idea where this could go. I mean, to come back to me for a moment, and the loneliness that you were talking about, I of course see this a lot in my work. People are extremely isolated. They feel disconnected. You know, many of the institutions that people historically have trusted for community, you know, in this country, they're not trustworthy. Yeah, and I don't want to start ragging on, but we all kind of know certain cultural institutions that don't feel safe anymore.
Right.
Even with crypto, I've been interested in crypto for years and years, but my interest in crypto has always kind of been an isolating interest for me. I never really have had any, you know, not many of my friends are into it. And the people that I would listen to and watch, I was just a passive person, you know, with crypto in terms of the conversation. This has given me, UFD has given me an opportunity to have relationships in crypto. Like that didn't exist for me 9 weeks ago. And these friendships I'm so grateful for. And so I think that I know if that's been true for me, I know it's true for other people. And how many other people are there out there that want a club? They want something to belong to. This could be it.
And if we get enough of these good people, 1,000x is not out of the question. I mean, it's not out of the question. Again, I'm not making predictions. Don't invest responsibly with anything you invest in. I'm not a financial advisor, but if we attract enough of these good people, those types of returns are very possible. You know, I was talking to David Gockstein earlier in the week, and he said something that I said long before I started Unicorn Fart Test, long before. And that is, he said that he said, I believe that 99% of the people in the world are good. And I believe that too, like 99%, maybe more of the people in the world are really good people. I think everybody in their heart is for the most part good, but like 99% of the people out there, you know, the 1% gets a lot of attention because of the mess they stir up, but people are good and people want to be aligned with something good and want to be aligned with something that has a mission and a purpose and want to be aligned on for this epic journey that you described that I think we're on as well, that we really can't define at this point, right? Like I remember a guy, you know, like, what's the vision for UFD? Asked me early on, and I'm like, well, the vision is this great movement that occurs that creates a wonderful community and creates a lot of prosperity, and maybe through that creates a lot of charity on top of it. But I can't really like it's, you know, I can't predict the future. Nobody can, but I know where we're wanting to move, if that makes sense.
It does. This may make some people uncomfortable, and I don't mean this in any blasphemous.
Don't make me
sense.
Uncomfortable.
Okay. I'll try not to. But I'm also a student of world religions, and when you study the world religions, I mean, you look at the founders of religions. They didn't know what the vision was. What they stumbled upon or opened themselves up to, oftentimes, right, was principles, ideas, values, what they saw as good, and they shared it with other people, and then the people themselves took it, you know, and ran. And I know religion has done lots of bad stuff, but also religion has done lots and lots of good stuff. But I'm just using that as the comparison to show that you're right. What this becomes, we don't yet know. But if you have a whole bunch of good people coming into this and wanting to create more good and taking that fundamental belief about people that we are good and that we're looking and trying our hardest to bring about more good, then we can only imagine. If we can't imagine how high the price could go, imagine all the charity, the good work, the goodwill, what could be built out of this. It's endless.
Yeah, and you know, as a side note, but I think this applies to what you're saying as well. It's my understanding that we're becoming popular in India, right? I had a couple Indian people reach out to me.
Okay.
And I thought about this the other day. If everybody in India bought one coin, there would be no more coins left, right? I mean, you know, and I think that we're one of the more recent big listings that we had kind of facilitated people in China to be able, I mean, like, there are so many people in the world, and I'm getting it from all over the world. Like, I mean, people from Australia, people from the United Kingdom, South America, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
North America, everywhere are interested in this. And I think, it's weird because we've been doing it for 9 weeks. We've evolved. We've, been through some major up. David Gockstein said it the other day. He's like, you guys have been through everything in 9 weeks. I'm like, I know, David, trust me. You should be inside my head, man. But we like survive and continue to forge forward. And there are so many people out there. There was this article. Let me pull it up real quickly just to show it. But we were on the front page of, hold on here, if I can remember. Oh, wrong one. Oh, darn it. I guess I forgot to load it up. Sorry, guys. I'll get it up again later. That was a note that we were on the front page of the St. Louis paper, of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, which, it's not the New York Times, but it's a big major paper. And as we get exposure to this, because we're really well known within crypto Twitter, right? We got that. We're doing great there. And that's awesome. That's the heartbeat. That's where really the community thrives and grows and spreads and kind of, I guess the word forges or galvanizes our community. But as we reach out further, we're going to get more and more people. And one of my neighbors emailed me or sent me a Facebook message saying, hey, we saw the article in the paper, we bought some beans. And what I told them was, go to crypto Twitter, go to X, right? And put in $UFD and say that you just bought some beans and see what you experience with the people that are in the UFD community.
Absolutely. I think that article, congratulations on that, by the way, that's the beginning of the breakout of much bigger media coverage to come. And we can only imagine once it does really break out and get exit velocity out of crypto Twitter, once more people hear the story are gonna want to jump in. And you're getting messages from all over the world. I'm even getting them. I've had conversations with people all over Europe, people saying, hey, I look forward to not only the live stream, but the videos. Thanks for your reflections. I mean, it's been so cool. It is not localized. And I like that you're thinking globally, because this is the beauty of crypto. There are, in the same way that there are no barriers to entry into our community, there are no barriers to entry into this all over the world. I mean, there's nothing stopping anyone, right, from investing in this if they have access to the internet.
If they have access to the internet, and they not only is it geographically decentralized, but it's also decentralized from an age perspective. We've got little kids, we have older people. It's also, I would say, decentralized from a interest perspective, because, we're not a coin that's specific to the stock market or specific to men only who want to be macho, or like, we appeal to the broadest market, I think, of almost any meme coin out there. So the ability for us to bring new people in is only limited by the number of people on the planet, I guess I could say, or access to the internet.
It's true, because it's not niche. We're not built around a particular just like inside joke, or interest or whatever it is. We're built upon these fundamental values and longings that humans have, like deep within themselves, right? Which I don't want to repeat myself, but that is true. It's what other kind of movement or product can you legitimately say with a straight face? If a human being likes goodness, then this appeals to them, right? We can say that with a straight face.
And human beings, I think we all like community. We all like to belong to a group where we have a shared vision and a shared set of ideals. So I don't know. I think the future looks bright. Ryan, it's been an hour. Anything else? I can't believe it's been an hour. We've got 3,000 people who are joining us right now. 3,000, right?
It's incredible.
There's me and you, but there's another person, right? Our viewer, a duster, a diamond hoof, maybe a buttercup, somebody who hasn't bought, but that's community. That's bringing, this is our way of helping, and not me and you, because let's face it, if there weren't these other people who are just as important as me and you, we wouldn't be doing this right now. So to each and every one of the people out there all over the world, they're all over the world, thank you, for being here with us. Thanks
Mhm.
for being part of this community. Thanks for being part of this unbelievable, I guess, journey that we're on.
Yes.
Anything else? Anything I forgot to ask you about? Anything you wanted to mention?
Well, I will say this. I got two things.
Yeah.
If there's 3,000 people that are showing up here, ask yourself, everyone listening, when have you ever been a part of something where, the leader of it says, "Hey, we're gonna talk, this afternoon," and 3,000 people just show up, and
Yeah.
they're on the edge of their seat. They're into it. That just tells you you're part of something really, really. It's a live wire. But then the other thing I want to say to everyone, watching is that this guy Ron is exactly who he appears to be.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to talk with you offline, and we're getting to know each other, becoming friends. And so I can say, that you are who you are. There's not a difference when we're talking on the phone, when we're talking here.
Yeah.
And again, you don't always find that, or no, I shouldn't say that. How often do people have the opportunity to really know that about the leader of something that they're a part of or that they're invested in? I'm telling you, everyone, what you see and what you are believing to be true is true. So I think that's important.
Yeah, this is just me, right? And so people ask me, well, how do you do all this? How do you do it all? I'm like, well, it's pretty easy because I just have to be, myself
Yeah.
and be what I am. Yeah, I think that's I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment, Ryan, and you've done a lot for the community. I want to remind everyone, Ryan, on a very regular basis, puts out short videos, 3 to 5 minute videos, but always something very, very helpful, right? A tip or a trick, I guess I would say, that helps us kind of navigate life. Because just like you said, right? Like, I'm a real person. Guess what, guys? I have challenges, major challenges, like everybody else in life, and it helps for me. I get a lot out of your videos, in navigating life, because life is. I mean, that's one thing that we can say to everybody who's out there. I mean, everybody who's alive. I think sometimes we can compare ourselves to other people and think, oh, they've got it made. No, everybody's got major challenges. And that's what we're here for. That's part of the UFD community as well, is to be here for each other.
Yeah.
And I think, well, look at how the community's been there for me during some very challenging times. But I also see it organically within the community. I hear stories about other people in the UFD community helping other people within the UFD community.
Yeah. Hey, life is lifey. It's really lifey. And the only way any of us make it through is with each other, right? We got each other. So yeah, none of us have it all together. We've all got the challenges. And so it's better. We're all better together. Yeah.
Yeah, life is lifey, no doubt about it. Except for me, I'm perfect, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, all right, Ryan, thank you. I'm going to see if maybe we can do this once a month.
Would love to.
Yeah. You know what? I think that would be a good idea, because you share a perspective that I think provides a great benefit to the community. And I think that I'm able to learn from you. And when I'm learning, that gives the audience an opportunity to learn as well. So thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of, that third person, which happens to be 3,000 people who are joining us right now, but they all matter, right? Like, I always say that, like,
Absolutely.
look, you and I are important, and no doubt about it, but so is the viewer. The viewer is just as important as we are. So on behalf of them, thank you for everything. Thanks for, being here and sharing your information with us.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. And yes, to every person watching, you really do matter, and you're a part of this community. And so I'm happy you're here. And I challenge you to really ask yourself, how can you contribute? How can you contribute? Yeah. There's something, you have a gift. I know you have a gift. There's something you can offer. So ask yourself that, and let's keep.
And you know what, Ryan, I want to point this out. There's a little bit of magic in that too. When I've learned, that's been my experience. If I'm sitting around here, every once in a while, I'll feel sorry for myself, if I'm sitting around, whatever. And, my contribution is live streaming, is kind of providing that stream for the people. And there's a certain magic that occurs, I've learned in life, when I step outside myself and do something, I guess, I don't feel like I'm not saying this in an egotistical way, but this is the way that I give, right? Is by giving these live streams. And there's a certain magic that occurs, whether it's doing this or even if it's going out of my way to be nice to the person at the McDonald's drive-through, which I always do. I did it again today. I had to get my daughters, make them smile and they appreciate it. There's a magic that happens for us humans when we get out of ourselves a little bit and do something for another person or for a community. And when people are doing things for UFD, whether it's this artwork or you can see this video, I'm going to have a special guest tomorrow morning, a young lady who made a great video. She's in St. Louis. Whether it's any of that stuff to get out of ourselves, that helps us. It really does. There's a magic that happens when we contribute, instead of thinking about ourselves. It's a great thing. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, it's the best medicine. Commit, do something for somebody else. You'll feel better. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's sign off and let's hang around and talk for a few seconds. But I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you, everybody, for being